So if you're relocating to Denver, let me save you guys months of frustration. I'm a 42-year Denver and Colorado native, and in this video today, I'm actually going to be sharing with you 3 things that nobody else is telling you. What I'm going to go through today is where to find fixer-upper homes that actually build long-term wealth, the best neighborhoods for brand new construction homes if you want a move-in ready lifestyle, and where you can still live that Colorado outdoor lifestyle with trails and all that other great stuff right out your back door. If I'm speaking your language, you guys got to watch this one. Stay tuned. All right, so as I said, whether you're trying to buy your first home or you're just researching Denver and trying to figure out whether or not the Mile High City is the right place for you, this video is going to cover it all. I'm really excited to share this one with you guys on a brand new episode of Living in Denver. But before we get started, as always, my name is Adam. I'm a licensed realtor here in Denver, Colorado and Denver native. Love making videos like this one, so I'm really excited to share that with you today. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, put all my info down below. Would love to connect with you guys and provide value in any way I can. But let's go ahead and get started. Again, talking about a ton of great stuff today, all about Denver and what you have to know before coming out here. All right, so the first thing that we're going to talk about is where to find fixer-upper homes that make great long-term investments. There's a few different areas that are great for this, in my opinion, and the first one I want to share is Wheat Ridge. So Wheat Ridge, believe it or not, is where I actually grew up. So I have a lot of background and knowledge about this side of Denver. It's on the western side of town and really conveniently located, in my opinion. It's got a great, easy access to I-70 to get up to the mountains, as well as a really quick and easy trip to go to downtown Denver, or really to go up north towards Boulder, or to go down south towards areas like Littleton. You're in a really good part of town when you're in Wheat Ridge, and there's a lot of fixer-upper homes right now in this area. One of the reasons this is the best spot for fixer-uppers is a lot of the homes in this area were built about 60 to 80 years ago, about the 1950s. And the reason this is important to understand is because a lot of the homeowners still in their homes today are some of the original homeowners, or they've been there at least for a very long time. They're getting a little bit older in age, and they're about to kind of transition into retirement homes, maybe moving in with other family members. I have a lot of different experiences recently with this happening. It's a great chance to buy a fixer-upper because a lot of this demographic of homeowner hasn't done much to fix it up themselves yet. So you'll be able to get in and find homes that are a little bit more in their original condition. But the good news about that is you'll be able to buy it at a more affordable price point. And if you're very handy, or maybe not, but if you are, you can do some of these improvements yourself through sweat equity just to make even more of a profit whenever that day does come to sell it. One of the other reasons why I love Wheat Ridge is the lot sizes are a bit larger and you have a lot of mature trees in this part of town. I love that because when you're comparing different areas in Denver, some of the newer communities, areas like Aurora, maybe further up north like Thornton, or maybe even further north in areas like Erie, there's some great options up there as well, but most of these homes are built in the last 15 to 20 years, if not even sooner. So you're not going to have that mature tree, that more just lush, more mature, more established type community. That'll come down the road, but right now, I think that's such a valuable aspect to Wheat Ridge. And a lot of the homes are typically that style that existed in that 1950s, 1960s era, where they're typically 2-bedroom, 1-bath, or maybe 3-bedroom, 1-bath type homes, where it's very easy to go in and fix it up, add a bathroom, maybe expand or even pop the top, where you're adding a whole second story to an existing ranch style home, where there's just a lot of easy ways to really add value to the homes. If you guys want to learn a little bit more specific about strategies on fixer-uppers and value add potential, I have a great video that I've done about 2 months ago all about this. So I'll put a link up below. Definitely check that one out after you finish watching this one. Now, the home prices in Wheat Ridge are fairly consistent with the overall median sales price of Denver, right around that $650,000 mark. But you can find these homes in a little bit more disrepair, meaning they really need a lot of upkeep and fixing up. And because of that, they're priced even below that point in the high 4s, even the low 5s. And that's pretty rare to find these days in the newer developed communities. So I think this is definitely a very opportune time if you are somebody, again, that's good with your hands and looking for a bit of a project when it comes to your next home here in Denver. And then one final thing about Wheat Ridge that I think is important to understand is there is a lot of development going on right now throughout this part of Denver, and that's only continuing to appreciate the area around it. Things like the brand new Lutheran Hospital off of 32nd Avenue and Youngfield. I grew up just a couple blocks from here, and it's amazing to see all of the different businesses, restaurants, fitness centers, everything that's now popping up around this new hospital location. There's also areas like the Wadsworth corridor that are completely getting redeveloped. They're extending the lanes where it's a lot more efficient of a thoroughfare, new restaurants. Everything is really getting improved on this part of town. So definitely an area that local secret here is worth checking out. Oh, and then one last insider tip. If you are looking for fixer-upper type potential homes, a few of my suggestions that are really important to look for is to prioritize homes that have things like original hardwood floors or an unfinished basement. Or another great one is a detached garage. These all give you the ability to really have some creativity and add a lot of value to the home to really fit what is, in today's market, what buyers are looking for. Definitely check it out. But if you have any questions on any of this, I'll also remind you guys again, click that link down below in the show notes or give me a call. I'd love to chat a little bit more and share some ideas with you. All right, so now let's just jump right into the second point I wanted to share with you, which is all about the best areas in and around Denver for new construction. And what I'd like to really focus more on is the master planned communities. So master planned communities, there's a lot in Denver. I live in one actually right now down in Littleton, an area called Highlands Ranch, which I love. And there's definitely a few others though that are also very high on my list and something that's becoming more and more popular these days. You know, as I grew up in Wheat Ridge, I always liked just living in that more typical neighborhood where you didn't have covenants and restrictions and homeowner associations. It was a little bit more relaxed. And I always thought that I'd want to be in those types of neighborhoods forever. But I gotta say, there are certain things about living in an HOA, or more importantly, a master plan community, that I love, and I don't know if I'll ever go back. You know, I have my dog Charlie, and I love going out on evening walks with him pretty much every day. And it's so great being able to walk out my door and just immediately have all of these private trails, parks, just so many activities and amenities literally within the actual master plan community. So you don't have to get in your car and drive anywhere like I would if I was in Wheat Ridge, as an example. And I just love that. I think it's super convenient. And as we get older and busier, time is valuable. And it's just so nice to not have to worry about that aspect of in the afternoon or evening, getting in the car and going somewhere. Just walk out your door and you're there. I love that. But now let's go back to specific areas that I think you definitely need to check out if you're into this type of home and community. And the first one I want to talk about is Southshore. So Southshore is in southeastern Aurora, and I just finished selling a house for some great clients of mine literally about 2 weeks ago. So I was spending a lot of time in this area. And, you know, just to be completely transparent with you guys, I really actually wasn't as familiar with Southshore until I had this new listing where I was going there on a, daily, weekly basis. And man, I was just really, really impressed with the infrastructure behind that Southshore master plan community. Lots of great reasons why this one is high on my list. For one, it actually is in the Cherry Creek School District. I'll let you guys do your own homework. Check out websites like niche.com where it shares ratings and different feedback on school districts, as well as actual individual specific schools. But Cherry Creek is always at the top of the list in all of Colorado for school ratings. And in a lot of the Southshore community, they actually feed into the Cherry Creek School District. So that for a lot of families is huge plus and almost a reason by itself for moving to an area like this. But now I want to share a little bit more about this master plan community and all of the amenities that oftentimes come with that. Southshore, it takes it to another level. They have these 2 clubhouses, both are beautiful with pools, fitness centers, all that great stuff. In fact, one of the clubhouses even has a bar in the clubhouse where every resident of Southshore, you can just go there and show your ID, and you can have up to 2 free beers a day, where they have these local breweries that they cycle through and do different seasonal beers, and you can go there and have 2 pints a day. Something I never heard of before in a master plan community, but I thought that was really creative and really cool. And another just fun kind of unique aspect, the house that I just sold, right across the street, there was actually a private boathouse and a private pond stocked full of fish where you'd see, kids, residents, just people hanging out, throwing out their fishing line. It was catch and release, but there are also a lot of people on their paddle boards. Just a lot of very strategic type amenities that Southshore put in where they knew that people would actually enjoy this stuff and actually use it. And I think we've all been there where we've had other friends, or maybe you yourself has lived in the community where, they advertise that they have a clubhouse and a pool and all this stuff. And then you're excited and you think you're going to use it all the time. And you move there and, 2 years later, you've been there one time. And I think this is just a really good example where if there's stuff available that you're actually going to use, that's such a higher level of importance and just value when it comes to choosing where you're going to maybe live. So Southshore, awesome. Definitely check that one out. It also actually borders Aurora Reservoir, one of the best reservoirs in the southern part of Denver. Lots of paddleboarding out there as well. There's definitely great fishing, lots of fun activities at the Aurora Reservoir. Okay, and then I got 2 other master plan communities I want to quickly share with you guys. The next one is going to be Sterling Ranch. So I was telling you first about Southshore, which is southeast Denver. Now we're actually going to go to the southwest, which is Sterling Ranch. And Sterling Ranch is a little bit higher price point. You're going to look at like $800,000, probably on the low end, up to above $1 million. But great views of the western slope heading up to the mountains. You're in an area that's really close to Roxborough, which is awesome. It's got all these really just unique and very beautiful red rock formations. If you guys are familiar at all with Red Rocks Amphitheater, the best music venue in the world, in my opinion, you have a lot of that similar view of these different red rocks when you're living down in Sterling Ranch and further south in Roxborough. But one, I guess, maybe negative to these master plan communities, specifically this one at Sterling Ranch, you got to be really cautious. A little pro tip here for you about what the property taxes are. So the way the property taxes work here in Colorado is every 2 years you have an assessment done on your property. Oftentimes it goes up, but you're going to be paying anywhere between about 0.5% up to maybe 1.6% of the assessed value of the property as your annual property taxes. So in a lot of areas in Denver, the typical, or I'd say the average property tax amount is usually right about 0.6, so about 0.5%. But Sterling Ranch, as this example I want to share with you, it actually is 1.6%, which is almost, practically 3 times as high. So let's just use 0.5% and 1.5%, just to make the numbers a little bit easier to understand. If you were to buy a $500,000 house in a different part of Denver, you'd have about a $2,500 annual property tax bill. Well, down here in Sterling Ranch, it might be $7,500 for that same $500,000 house. So pretty massive difference, and definitely something that's worth at least understanding and knowing about before purchasing the house. And then one last master plan community that you definitely also want to check out, especially if you have a budget and a price point where you want to keep maybe closer to that $400,000 to $700,000 mark, and that's going to be Reunion. And Reunion is actually a little bit north of these other 2 areas, and it's actually in an area that's very close to Denver International Airport. So if you travel a lot for work, or you just like being a little bit closer to our big travel hub, Denver International Airport, we call it DIA, it's nice to be in Reunion because you have such a quick, easy, direct access. You're not going to have to get on many busy roads. You're going to be able to get there really in about 15 to 20 minutes in a lot of cases. There's also, though, a little bit of a negative to areas like this Reunion area specifically, just because it's a lot larger. So you do feel at times like you're a little bit in a cookie cutter type community where a lot of the homes kind of look the same. But I'm gonna push back a little bit on that and say they do have some great parks, a lot of great trail systems. There's a lot going on in this area. And if you're gonna buy a home that you're gonna stay in for at least, let's just say 5 to 10 years, if we fast forwarded to 2035 right now, I guarantee this Reunion area is going to be even better. A lot of the trees that are still a little bit small, they're going to be full grown, and you're just going to have a lot more lush, a lot more just established type feel to the Reunion neighborhood. So definitely also worth putting on your radar. If you guys want to look into any of these in more depth and detail, feel free to reach out. I'll put my info again down below. All right, and then the last, but definitely not least, thing that you have to be thinking about before moving out here to Denver, in my opinion, is probably the most important, is just understanding what part of town has some of the best outdoor lifestyle options. I don't know about you guys, but the reason I still live in Colorado and why I choose to be here is because of that great, perfect balance that we have with that outdoor active lifestyle, But also, we have so many awesome urban type activities just with our fine dining and restaurants, lots of great bars, lots of great music venues, art. There's so much going on in Denver these days that also is such a great reason to be here. But for me, it's all about that outdoor lifestyle. And for that, I want to share with you 3 areas that are the top of my list. And we'll start right off with number 1, which is going to be Littleton, which is where I live currently, as I mentioned, but specifically the areas around downtown Littleton. So downtown Littleton, or the old historic downtown, what I love about this is it really has that community feel. You really feel like you're in an area that has a lot of locally owned and operated businesses. When you go into some of these, you'll see friendly faces. You'll walk down the road and actually wave to people, and hopefully you'll start to recognize people and, just have that more of that community feel, which is kind of hard to find if you're in some of these larger areas like Southshore in Aurora, or even in Sterling Ranch further south and west from where I'm talking about in this downtown Littleton area. I love also with downtown Littleton how you have really good, easy access to downtown Denver using Highway 85, or we call it Santa Fe Boulevard. You get to avoid some of the busier roads like I-25, where you're able to hopefully not deal with quite as much traffic, and it's just a little bit more pleasant of a commute when you're going in and out of downtown Denver. And also, I just love how you have really great views in Littleton, looking out to the west and seeing the beautiful mountains, especially at the time of year that we're going into right now, which is the fall, where you have all the beautiful fall colors and you start to see that snow on the top of some of the peaks, knowing that ski season is right around the corner. And then 2 other neighborhoods that are also great for this outdoor lifestyle that we all love here in Denver, Colorado. The second spot is going to be Golden. Golden, a little bit higher price point as well, but it has another incredible downtown area. It's continuing to get better and better and better. Lots of fun community activities. They always have this great Goldens in Golden Day, where I'd say there's probably almost 1,000 golden retrievers that come down with their owners and have this massive golden retriever get together, stuff like that. That's really cool. We also have Coors Brewery in Golden, which is incredible. It's one of the largest single location breweries in the nation. There's also just a lot of other really fun, kind of different types of restaurants and bars. A lot of them where they even allow dogs to be hanging out in the patio areas. Just a lot of creativity when it comes to the type of dining and bars, all that fun stuff. You're also in a very, very good location if you do like going up to the mountains, where you're pretty much as close as you possibly can be. In fact, a lot of my friends that live in Golden that are big into cycling, they'll even just jump on their bike and go up Lookout Mountain from the front door of their house. They don't even have to get in their car. So Golden's definitely worth checking out. And then the third one, I wanted to put one in here that has a little bit more of a range of price points of real estate, and that's Arvada. And Arvada also has this downtown area, and it's called Old Town Arvada. What's really nice in Arvada is you can always find where this area is, because there's a large water tower that says Old Town Arvada, and you're able to very easily just spot that and know that, hey, this is the direction I need to go if I want to go to that downtown core of Arvada. But another reason why Arvada is super popular for that outdoor lifestyle is you're really in this perfect location where you can easily access Boulder, slightly to the north, or Golden, which is just a little bit to the south. You're just in a really good location for people that want to get to the mountains very easily, but also you're still close enough to Denver, especially on the northern side of Denver, where you can get to downtown Denver easily. And there's also even some of the best public transportation in the entire state in Arvada. We have the light rail, which takes you all around town, but one of the best direct routes goes from that downtown Arvada straight to Union Station in downtown Denver. So really good, easy access for that. And then one last little local tip I'll share for Arvada for this last one before we close this video out is a lot of Arvada is in what we call unincorporated Jefferson County. In unincorporated Jefferson County, the reason that's important to maybe start to understand and put on your radar is if you potentially might work from home, or maybe you're somebody that doesn't want to have those restrictions that you might have in an HOA and a master plan community. With parts of Arvada in this unincorporated Jefferson County, you are very minimal on restrictions. You could potentially have a second dwelling on your property as a vacation rental, or maybe as your workshop. You're not going to be as restrictive when it comes to having maybe a truck parked in your front driveway all the time, maybe with your work truck logo on the side. That's something that a lot of HOAs don't allow. You can't have your truck, for example, parked there for more than 48 hours before needing it to be moved. There's just some little bit more lax guidelines when you're in a unincorporated part of any county. So a lot of Arvada is part of that Jefferson County unincorporated. So definitely look into that if you maybe are working from home and you need a little bit more lax of restrictions when it comes to your house. All right, so we definitely covered a lot today. Hopefully you guys are still with me, but more than anything else, I just want you guys to know that when it comes to Denver and that outdoor lifestyle balance, there's no better place in my opinion. There's other states like Utah, maybe Arizona that still do also have great activities and a lot of nature and outdoor stuff out your back door, but man, I might be biased, but there's just something different about Denver. You have so many different types of activities to get involved in. And since we do truly have 4 very unique seasons, in every one of these, you have new hobbies to pick up, new sports to try, just new things to keep life interesting. And honestly, come on, that's what life is all about, is just trying new things and just having this excitement always, even in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, your entire life. I love that about Colorado and Denver specifically. So if you guys got value from this video, all I ask is that you guys please just click that link down below, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any videos in the future. I release new ones every single week. I put a lot of my time and energy into creating these, really just for the purpose of connection. I would love the opportunity to connect with you, even if you're not seriously considering moving in the next couple of years. I know there's still a few ways I could provide you value. I've got a great email newsletter that goes out every week with tons of other content. So if you guys want to join that, or if you just want to connect, go to adamsellsdenver.com. I'll put the link down below. I'll also have my phone number and my email there. Reach out. We'd love to chat. And with that being said, hope you have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week, and I'll see you next time on a brand new episode of Living in Denver. I'll see you then. Bye.